Yo, what is going on everybody? This is RBT and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to go over something pretty freaking interesting that I came across a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned it in a previous video, and you guys did say you wanted to see this as its own video. And as you see, we are going to be going over this article I did come across that's titled, "It's Not in the Game, 8 Features the NFL Made EA Sports Removed from Madden." I will leave a link to the full article in case you are interested in reading it, but basically what this article does say, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that the NFL, the actual NFL, made EA Sports take out of Madden. It's features that used to be in the game that you might wonder, why the heck did they take this out? Like, people like that part of the game. Well, it's not up to EA Sports, not up to Madden. It's because the NFL, who basically owns them, told them, hey, we don't want this in the game. So I thought it was pretty interesting, and maybe some stuff will make sense of why it's no longer in the game. So hope you guys do enjoy today's video. If you do enjoy videos like this, let me know by dropping a big thumbs up. Let's see if we can't smash 2,000 likes on today's video. Be sure to subscribe if you are new. We're literally like 20 followers away from 190,000, which will mark like the last stretch before we do hit 200k. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and also go follow me on Instagram, link in the description box below, because as soon as we do hit 10,000 followers on that, we will be doing a console giveaway. But with that said, dudes, let's jump right into the 8 features the NFL made EA Sports removed from Madden. And the first thing that you see right here is going to be the ambulance feature, which is something from a long time ago in the past Madden games. So right here, the ambulance, the first thing that the NFL made EA take out of Madden. It says, the famed Madden ambulance made its debut in Madden 92. Goes on to say, everybody thought it was pretty funny because en route to retrieve the injured players, it would run over other players, so people thought it was funny. And this did end up being the first feature that the NFL ever made EA take out of Madden. Back in Madden 2001 was the last time this was part of the game. And this is a quote from one of the producers. In retrospect, it probably wasn't the most tasteful thing to celebrate a major injury. And this was done in the era before concussion awareness that we have today. So people like EA tried to revive it. We asked the NFL every year if they were okay with bringing the ambulance back. They said, we know it's your legacy, but we're not comfortable with it. Which, at the same time, like, it's not like you're actually celebrating a major injury. It's just a feature basically showing that a player's injured. So it's not celebrating it. So when I first read this, I was like, okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, you're not celebrating an injury. It's just a feature showing a player's injured. And it says, eventually the two parties compromised on having a cart that drove onto the field, with the league feeling that was more authentic. But even that came into caveat. They did not want to see a player strapped to the backboard motionless, says the second producer. They made them take the cart out, which was around the mid-2000s. Now, in my opinion, it seems like if I'm the NFL, I'd much rather an ambulance just come on the field than have a player be shown going off the field on a cart, but that's just me. The next thing the NFL made EA take out of Madden was all things concussion, which especially in today's day of age with all the concussion awareness and everything getting so strict about concussions, I guess it makes sense because they don't want to look bad. They took it out so they don't look bad, which is, I mean, I guess a good move on their part. And it's funny because in this article, it said that the NFL was actually trying to help and work with them about the whole entire concussion thing in terms of how to portray it in the game. But this article actually says it was John Madden. John freaking Madden was basically telling them that he didn't want it in the game. So the reason you don't see head injuries in Madden anymore, as you see right here, it says the guy injured his head. I'm not sure if at one point it said it was specifically concussions, but nowadays there's not even head injuries in general. Now this one's a little petty. This one is called the hit stick violence. The evolution of the hit stick wasn't unlike that of the ambulance. The NFL didn't pay it much attention when the tool was first added in 2005. But when it became a popular feature, the league began reviewing specific animations and didn't like it. They said if a player's head snapped back too sharply, we had to change the animation to make it look more proper. And so, like, basically, once again, they didn't want anything, like, having to do with the head look like it could be possibly injured in the game because of they just don't like head injuries because it doesn't make them look good. The next feature, which I'm not sure why the picture isn't showing up, is the helmeting. Helmet popping tackles used to be back of the box staple in the N64 and PS2 days, but since Madden 2008, there was a disappearance because the league didn't like it. Now this part's actually kind of interesting. He says, when the last console transition happened from PS2 to PS3 and Xbox 360, we completely rewrote the game, and in the process we literally lost the technology that allowed the helmet to pop off. A big part of the challenge was that we had to give a player hair when the helmet popped off, making the animation more complicated than it might have seemed. So initially it was just a technology problem, but they said when EA was settled into the new consoles, They said they tried to bring it back, and the NFL put a kibosh, whatever kibosh means, on the plan. The NFL was happy when we weren't able to include the popping off helmets following the console switch. That was a feature they never liked. A few years later, we tried to add it back in, and they wouldn't let us. So, once again, it would have been back eventually when they got the technology fixed, but they wouldn't let them. Now, this one makes me mad and everybody else mad, because this is basically why we can't have create a team. A freewheeling owner mode. So this just seems, once again, really petty to me. So, anyways, it says that being able to tweak even tiny aspects of the game boosts engagement and creates a richer experience for the players. The downside, it may also yield seemingly inappropriate color combinations. One feature we added a number of years back was the ability to create a logo or customized uniform, which everybody would love to have. It used to be in the game, everybody used to love it. But when it came to the uniforms, the NFL was particularly interested in making sure league policies were consistent. They said, we don't want to see the Oakland Raiders logo on a pink helmet. So players using real NFL logos in the creative team mode had to adhere to strict set of guidelines. Gamers wanting to cut loose with their color palettes had to use generic logos. So that's why. Stupid. This is stupid. Now this feature is kind of outdated because this article was written like 4 years ago, and I'm curious to know what things have been taken out of Madden since then because of the NFL. But celebrations. The NFL thought it would be a brilliant idea for the fans and for the fun of the game to just make celebrations not a thing anymore and to penalize them. And when that happened, basically EA told them to take out the good celebrations. So that sucks. But we all know last year, finally, the NFL players were able to celebrate how they wanted to for the most part. And this year is finally when we get a pretty big inclusion of good celebrations back into the game. So this is kind of like outdated, but that's just so stupid. Now this one is stupid, and once again, this kind of is one of the reasons why the game will never be completely realistic. Once again, it's not because EA doesn't want that to be the case, it's because the NFL won't let them. Leveling bystanders. So we all know, we've seen in like NFL before, when players run in the sideline full speed, sometimes they run into a coach, run into photographers, or anybody in the sideline. And they even used to have the ability for coaches to be taken out in that aspect. And like eventually the NFL said, no, we don't want that to be a case. Says the NFL did draw a line this year at the inadvertent bowling over some low-profile members of the sideline population, which were photographers. So for Madden 25, they created an animation of sports photographers being taken out by players who go hurling out of bounds. But they weren't able to include them in the final product because the league didn't want that to be highlighted in their game, which is once again stupid because it's realistic. I just don't understand, like, this just actually rereading this article, making this video, just makes me like not happy and not confident that we'll ever get a completely fully realistic sports game or a football game in general, just because the NFL is so freaking strict on stupid stuff. And the last thing that the NFL made EA take out of Madden is dynamic attendance. Back in Madden 11, they had dynamic attendance. With it, stadiums in the game would be as populated as their real-life counterparts, or as it were, unpopulated. Hence, the Jacksonville Jaguars used to get like nobody to ever go to the games. The game would be like half full. Therefore, in the full game, when they would play a game at home and it was maybe against a lesser opponent or maybe a team with not a good record, they would have like half the stadium full, which is how it's supposed to be if you want a realistic game. And the NFL did not like that because it made them look bad. It made them look bad once again. So basically, even if it's realistic, the NFL wants to pretend that it just doesn't exist so they can just look as good as they possibly can. And this is something annoying to me because in FIFA, somebody that plays FIFA a lot, I guess, I'm not sure if that's what they call it, dynamic attendance, but it is a thing. Not like to this degree where like half the stadium would be like unpopulated, but in some games, there's not many people in the stands because that's how it's going to be in real life. And the NFL just apparently doesn't care about how fun and realistic their game could possibly be. So the thing is, EA has thought about a lot of these features and features that would make the game more realistic, and they've had it in the past, but the NFL is just stupid. Just freaking stupid.